Hey everyone, welcome back. We always try to go beyond the headlines, right? So we've been seeing a lot about North Korea lately,
Yeah.
but this time we're gonna really get into it.
Mhm.
We found some research suggesting
Yeah.
that they're actually doing better than a lot of people think. And the reason is kind of surprising.
You're right.
So get ready for some aha moments in this deep
Ah,
dive.
yeah, the whole hermit kingdom thing.
Right.
Most people just think they're failing and
Yeah.
isolated,
Yeah.
but it's more complex than that.
Okay, so anyone who follows this stuff, even casually, probably knows.
Yeah.
Like the basics, right? Like when the Soviet Union collapsed, that wasn't just the end of some empire.
Oh, absolutely.
That was like a huge hit to North Korea's whole system.
It was like they lost their main benefactor,
Mm.
the famine in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That was a direct result of that collapse.
Wow.
And it's interesting because that's when you start to see the first little cracks in the
Yeah.
whole Juche philosophy,
Yeah.
Total self-reliance.
Yeah.
Turns out even the most hardcore isolationists need some friends sometimes.
Well, that's a great point, and that actually brings us up to today.
Okay.
Enter Vladimir Putin, stage left, right.
Uh-huh.
It's like they've been getting closer for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But after the whole Ukraine thing
Yeah.
and all those sanctions from the West,
Mm.
well, it seems like desperate times call for strange bedfellows.
You could say that.
But it's more than just like a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing, right?
It's way more. It's like they've built their own little economic back alley,
Okay.
out of sight from the global cops
Uh-huh.
trading stuff each other needs like crazy.
What kind of stuff are we talking?
Like North Korea, they've got artillery shells coming out their ears, and Russia,
Yeah.
they're thirsty for energy and tech.
Okay, wait. So this isn't just helping them get by. They're actually growing from this.
Yeah,
Didn't their economy expand like 3% last year?
something like that. Yeah, it was their best performance since 2016. And a lot of analysts think Russia's a big reason for that.
Hmm.
Of course, they're still bottom of the barrel when it comes to economic freedom, right?
Yeah.
Scoring a pathetic 2.9 out of 100 on that index.
Ooh. Yeah, that's rough.
But hey, got to start somewhere, right? Baby steps.
True, true. But I gotta imagine this is setting off alarm bells all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Washington, Tokyo, Seoul. I mean,
Big tough.
North Korea sending weapons to Russia. I don't think anyone's gonna be happy about that.
Not a soul. The West is super concerned about this whole
Yeah.
budding bromance escalating tensions in East Asia.
Oh, man.
Could even spark another Cold War. Who knows?
Ugh, scary thought. And then there's the wild card China.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They've been North Korea's main ally forever,
Right.
but this new dynamic gotta have them feeling some kind of way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely not thrilled about it. It's
Yeah.
like they don't want a superpowered North Korea right there on their doorstep,
Right.
but they also don't want them going full on into Russia's camp.
It's like a geopolitical headache.
A major one.
Yeah.
It's making them totally rethink their approach to the region.
And when China starts making moves,
Yeah.
the whole world pays attention.
The whole world. So to sum up so far, we've got this strange economic partnership, military cooperation that's got everyone on edge,
Yeah.
and China trying to play it cool.
Yeah.
Where do we even go from here?
Right. Like, what are the specifics of this relationship? What are they actually trading?
Exactly.
And what kind of military tech is Russia sharing?
Yeah. Is it the kind of stuff that's keeping people at the Pentagon up at night?
Right. And the big question, how much of this is Kim Jong-un just playing 4D chess, trying to get leverage? And how much is just pure desperation?
Good question.
This is where it gets really interesting. We're going to get into all of that right after this.
It's crazy, right?
What is?
We always think of North Korea as this unchanging relic of the Cold War.
Right.
But they're actually masters of adaptation.
Okay.
Think about it. They survived the collapse of their main backer, right?
Yeah.
Devastating famine, decades of sanctions.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not just surviving. They might actually be thriving.
In this new world disorder, as you call it.
Exactly.
Okay, but isn't this partnership with Russia like a super risky gamble?
Risky, yeah, but...
I mean, aligning themselves with a country that's waging a brutal war, facing international condemnation.
Yeah, it's definitely a high-stakes move.
So what are the specifics?
All right, well, we know North Korea has been sending artillery shells to Russia like crazy,
Okay.
a resource Moscow desperately needs for the war in Ukraine.
Okay.
And these aren't just any old shells.
Oh.
We're talking 152 millimeter and 122 millimeter artillery rounds.
Wow.
Designed for those old Soviet-era weapon systems.
Right.
Both countries still use perfect matches, supply and demand.
So North Korea is supplying the weapons.
Yeah.
What's Putin giving them in return?
Well, besides the obvious economic benefits,
Okay.
intelligence reports suggest Russia is sending them food and energy.
Makes sense they need that to keep the lights on.
Exactly. But it goes even deeper than that.
Oh.
There are rumors of technology transfers.
Like what?
Maybe even help with their missile and nuclear programs?
Oh, hold on.
Think about it. Russia's got expertise in advanced missile technology.
Right.
Satellite systems, cyber warfare capabilities.
So this is the kind of stuff that could really amp up North Korea's military.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into the territory that keeps defense analysts up at night.
Right.
If Russia is helping them advance their nuclear and missile programs,
Yeah.
isn't that like a red line for the West?
Absolutely. And it's not just the West that should be worried.
Oh.
Put yourself in Beijing's shoes for a second.
Okay.
Watching your unpredictable neighbor
Uh-huh.
suddenly get a tech upgrade, courtesy of your biggest rival.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling.
No, not at all.
This could seriously upset the balance of power in the whole region.
It's like someone just threw a lit match into a powder keg.
Pretty much.
So what's China's play here?
That's the million-dollar question.
I mean, they can't be happy about it,
No.
but they also don't want to push North Korea further into Russia's arms, right?
Exactly. They're walking a tightrope.
So what are their options?
Well, they could try to rein in North Korea, maybe threaten to cut off aid or increase pressure.
Okay.
But any strong move like that could backfire.
Right.
Push North Korea even closer to Russia.
So what do they do?
Inaction's risky too, though, right?
How so?
The longer this partnership goes on,
Yeah.
the more entrenched it becomes. The harder it'll be to untangle things.
So it's like a classic dilemma.
Yeah.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
But let's take a step back for a second.
Okay.
Look at the bigger picture.
Right.
What does this whole situation tell us about the world today?
Well, I think it shows how fragile the current world order really is.
How so?
We're seeing a shift away from the old rules-based system.
The one dominated by the West?
Exactly. New alliances are popping up,
Yeah.
often out of necessity, not shared values. And these new relationships, they're creating some unforeseen challenges for everyone involved.
And like the old maps aren't accurate anymore. We're in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
The landmarks are shifting. The compass is spinning.
And in this new world, a country like North Korea,
long dismissed as a pariah state,
right,
suddenly becomes a key player. And it's not just North Korea.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
We're seeing this kind of thing happening all over the place.
Like what?
Countries reevaluating their alliances, hedging their bets, looking for any advantage they can get.
In this uncertain world.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got this new axis of rogue states.
Right.
A nervous superpower trying to figure out its next move.
Right.
And a whole lot of potential for things to go very wrong very quickly.
Yeah.
It's enough to make your head spin.
For sure.
But before we get too overwhelmed, let's focus on something we've touched on a few times.
What's that?
The arms race. This whole situation has got to be sending shockwaves through the global weapons market.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have heavy hitters like Russia and China backing a regime that's openly developing nukes and long-range missiles, it changes the game.
How so?
Other countries, especially those with regional rivals or security concerns,
they're
going to feel the pressure to keep up.
It's like the keep up with the Joneses mentality.
Exactly.
But instead of a new car, it's a hypersonic missile or a tactical nuke.
Scary thought.
And we all know where that road leads.
Yeah.
But are there any exits?
Hopefully.
What can we do to prevent this whole thing from spiraling out of control?
That's the big question.
Okay, so we're talking about this potential arms race. And not the fun kind where everybody gets like a participation trophy. This is the kind where the trophy is, not getting blown up.
Exactly.
So can we like hit the brakes on this thing at all?
It's tough, but not impossible.
Yeah.
I think the first step is acknowledging the elephant in the room.
Which is?
This isn't just about North Korea anymore.
Okay.
This is about a fundamental shift in global power. We've got countries like Russia and China.
Yeah.
Who are really challenging the established order.
Yeah.
And they're using any tools they can.
Including rogue states like North Korea.
Exactly.
So it's like North Korea is a symptom of a much bigger problem.
Yeah, say that.
Like a canary in the geopolitical coal mine. But if we know that, What's the treatment plan? Is there even one?
Well, there are no easy answers here.
Okay.
Diplomacy has to be part of it.
Right.
But we're dealing with actors who aren't exactly known for good-faith negotiations.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sanctions are another option.
Yeah.
But we've already seen how those can be worked around.
It's like trying to fix a leaky boat with duct tape.
Uh-huh. Pretty much.
Might work for a little bit, but it's not a long-term solution.
Nope.
So what else is there? Do we just sit back and watch the world stockpile more and more weapons?
Well, there are other things we can try.
Like what?
For one, we could focus on strengthening alliances.
Okay.
With countries that are also concerned about this new axis of power.
So like a united front of democratic nations.
Exactly. Committed to upholding a rules-based international order.
That could be a powerful counterweight.
It could.
To the growing influence of these autocratic regimes.
It's like banding together with the other kids on the playground.
Uh-huh. I like that.
The ones who don't want to play by the bully's rules.
Makes sense. But what about the elephant's even bigger, scarier cousin?
You mean?
Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, that's the ultimate challenge.
It feels like the more countries that have them,
It's true.
the greater the risk they'll actually be used.
Intentionally or accidentally.
Exactly. And with AI and all these autonomous weapons systems coming online,
Right.
the potential for a catastrophic miscalculation just keeps growing.
It's a scary thought for sure.
It's like we're standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into the abyss. So what can we as individuals even do about any of this?
Well, one thing is education.
Okay.
The more we understand about these complex issues,
Yeah.
the better equipped we are to have meaningful conversations.
Right.
And demand accountability from our leaders.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of individual action.
Like what?
You can support organizations working for peace and disarmament.
Okay.
Advocate for policies that prioritize diplomacy over military intervention.
Right.
And most importantly, never forget that we all have a stake in this.
In creating a more peaceful and secure world.
Exactly.
Well said. So it feels like we've uncovered more questions than answers in this deep dive.
Maybe that's the point, though.
What do you mean?
The world's changing in these really profound and unpredictable ways.
Yeah. Old assumptions are being challenged.
Right.
New alliances are forming.
Uh-huh.
And the stakes are higher than ever.
Complacency is not an option anymore.
So what do we do?
We need to be informed, engaged, and ready to face whatever comes next.
The future is uncertain.
Yeah, but one thing's for sure.
What's that?
The future will be shaped by those who think critically.
Okay.
Who challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
And who fight for a better tomorrow.
And on that note, we'll leave you with some food for thought.
All right.
If even the most isolated nation can forge these new alliances and reshape its place on the world stage, what other unlikely partnerships might we see emerge?
As the geopolitical landscape keeps changing.
Exactly. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning.
That's the key.
And until next time, thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive